Zarya welcomed them, with its dry air and the golden dust that seemed to float, even in silence. The NYSC orientation was over, but the baggage of everything that had happened came along. Tobi looked out the window of the rickety bus taking him to his new lodge, and couldn't help but feel the air was heavy with unfinished conversations. He was allocated a staff room in a public secondary school at the outskirts. It was a humble building, with a rusted gate, faded classrooms, and worn chalkboards. Students peeked curiously at him as he arrived. The principal welcomed him warmly, introducing him as Mr. Tobi from Lagos, here to make a difference. He nodded, hiding the conflict inside him. Later that evening, as he walked down the narrow road to get water from a nearby borehole, a bike zoomed past him. It was Amira. She didn't see him, or maybe she did and chose not to. Either way, her presence ignited something, a mix of fear, confusion, and a flicker of unresolved affection. Tobi met Osagie the next day, outside the local government building. They shook hands stiffly, both pretending not to remember everything too clearly. "Small world," Osagie said. Tobi gave a weak smile. Very small. They chatted briefly before parting, but their words were light, like tiptoeing on glass. As days passed, Zarya became routine. Tobi began teaching English and literature to SS2 students. Some of them loved his teaching style. Others were simply amused by his Lagos accent. He threw himself into work trying to find a new rhythm, but the shadow of camp still lingered. Amira passed by his school twice that week. Each time, her presence unsettled him. She never waved, never spoke, just rode by like a breeze that once set fire to everything in his world. One afternoon, he received a message from an unknown number. "We should talk. Meet me at the Central Mosque after Friday prayers, A." His heart raced. Amira wanted to talk, but was it an apology, a threat, or something in between? Friday arrived with a kind of anticipation Tobi hadn't felt since camp. His thoughts were a whirlwind of what-ifs. He spent most of the school day distracted, forgetting lesson notes and fumbling chalk sticks. By the time prayers ended at the Central Mosque, his shirt clung to his back from sweat. He waited beneath the old mango tree outside the mosque, scanning the crowd. Amira emerged moments later, still in her hijab, her face calm but unreadable. She walked up to him slowly, her eyes locking onto his. "Thanks for coming," she said. Tobi nodded. "You ask." They moved to a quieter corner, away from the chatter of departing worshippers. Amira folded her arms. "You embarrassed me, do you know that?" Tobi raised his brow. "You planted a phone on someone, do you know that?" Her eyes flashed. "I didn't plant anything, and I didn't steal that phone." "So what happened?" he pressed. She looked down, lips tight. "It wasn't supposed to go that far. I borrowed the phone. The owner said I could use it. I forgot to return it before the event ended. When I realized it was missing from my bag, I panicked. I didn't put it in Osagie's pocket. Someone else must have." "Who?" Tobi asked. "I don't know," she said quickly. Too quickly. He stared at her. Either she was lying, or she was protecting someone. Either way, there was more to the story. After their meeting, Tobi felt no closure, only more questions. Amira's version of events didn't align with what he saw that night, but he also saw something else. Fear. Real fear. It made him wonder, was she working alone? Meanwhile, Osagie had begun to adjust. His supervisor liked him, and he had resumed writing poetry again, though he no longer shared it. Tobi visited him one evening, and they sat outside sipping kunu. "She wants to talk to me," Osagie said, breaking the silence. "Amira?" Tobi nodded. "She met with me too, says she didn't steal the phone, claims it was a misunderstanding." Osagie sighed. "It's hard to know who to believe anymore, but I'm tired of carrying it." Their friendship, though mended slightly, was still fragile, and the arrival of more Corps members into Zaria added new dynamics. A group from the east, 2 Igbo guys and a Tiv girl, joined Tobi's school. They were lively, curious, and eager to socialize. It brought back the spirit of camp, but with it, new gossip. Whispers began to stir again. One evening, Tobi overheard a conversation behind the school block. "He's the guy who almost got that girl punished because of his crush. Said she stole a phone, imagine." His stomach tightened. Zaria was supposed to be a fresh start, but the shadows of that night were far from gone. Days later, Tobi received another anonymous message. "Keep digging, and you'll regret it." It was scribbled on lined paper and left on his desk at school. His hands trembled as he folded it back into his bag, scanning the classroom windows. Who was watching him, and why? That night, Tobi couldn't sleep. He sat outside with Osagie under a dull moon, drinking warm zobo and listening to crickets chirp. When he showed Osagie the note, his friend's face darkened. "This thing is deeper than we thought." "I believe she's hiding someone," Tobi said. She panicked, but not like someone guilty, like someone afraid. Osagie nodded slowly. "Maybe whoever did this used her. Maybe they used both of us." The next day, while visiting the local community center, Tobi ran into Bala, an ex-soldier turned youth coordinator who had helped out at camp. Bala greeted him warmly, but looked troubled. "You're still looking into that phone issue?" he asked suddenly. Tobi hesitated, then nodded. Bala's smile vanished. "You need to be careful, boy. Some truths are like fire. Touch them wrong, and they'll burn more than just your fingers." Later that week, during a friendly staff volleyball match, Tobi noticed someone familiar. Lukman, one of the security aides from camp, now working part-time as a security guard at the Ministry of Health. He hadn't seen Lukman since orientation ended. Curious, Tobi approached him afterward. Lukman was sweaty but cheerful. "Omo, small world," he said. "I heard you're teaching now." "Yeah," Tobi replied. "You too?" "Ministry of Health, man. Just helping out with logistics and forms." Their banter was easy, but Tobi noticed a small scar on Lukman's wrist. Something he remembered seeing on the hand of a figure the night of the bonfire, lurking in the shadows behind the benches. That same wrist had placed something in Osagie's jacket pocket. It hit him like thunder. He went quiet, suddenly aware of Lukman's eyes on him. "You all right?" Lukman asked. Tobi smiled nervously. "Yeah, just remembering something from camp." But as he walked home that evening, one thing was clear. He had found a new suspect, and this time the stakes were higher than ever. Tobi didn't sleep that night. The image of Lukman's scar replayed in his mind like a cursed loop. If Lukman was the one who planted the phone, what was his motive? And was Amira truly unaware or covering for him? The next day, Tobi visited Osagie again. "I think I know who did it," he said. "Lukman, from camp." Osagie blinked. "The security guy?" Tobi nodded. "He's working at the ministry, same place as Amira, and I saw that scar on his wrist the night the phone was planted." Osagie rubbed his temples. "If you're right, we can't go to the authorities yet. We need proof. Real proof." They both sat in silence before Osagie offered a suggestion. "What if we bait him?" "Bait?" "Yeah. Set up a scenario where he thinks there's something worth stealing. We'll keep watch, see if he makes a move." Tobi hesitated. "That's risky." "Everything about this is risky," Osagie replied, "but it's the only way to clear our names." They agreed to think through the logistics and involve a third person they could trust, a core member who had no prior connection to the case. They approached Nkechi, the TIV girl recently posted to Tobi's school. She was smart, observant, and had earned a reputation for being blunt and fearless. After Tobi explained the situation, she leaned back, arms folded. "So you want me to play bait?" "Not exactly," Tobi said. "Just help us set a trap. Maybe pretend you lost something, your phone, wallet. Leave it in a place we know Lukman will pass by." "And if he doesn't take the bait?" she asked. "Then we keep trying, until we catch him red-handed." Nkechi sighed, then nodded. "All right, but if this goes wrong, all three of us are in trouble." They chose the old storehouse beside the ministry building. Nkechi would drop her bag while pretending to take a call. Tobi and Osagie would be nearby, recording the scene from 2 angles. The day arrived. Nkechi executed the act flawlessly. She walked away, forgetting her bag. Lukman passed by minutes later. He stopped, looked around, then slowly reached for the bag. The camera caught it all. He didn't steal the whole bag, just opened it, scanned it, and pocketed a phone before walking off. Proof. Real proof. Tobi's heart pounded. They finally had something. But now came the most dangerous part, exposing him without becoming targets themselves. The next morning, the trio gathered at Osagie's lodge, eyes glued to Tobi's small phone screen as they replayed the footage. It was undeniable. Lukman had taken the phone. "This is it," Nkechi whispered. "This is what we needed." Osagie sat up. "We take it to the NYSC zonal inspector." Tobi hesitated. "Let's not be rash. If Lukman is working with someone higher up, he could spin it or make us disappear." Silence fell. Nkechi sighed. "Then what do we do? Sit on it? Let him go free?" "No," Tobi said. "We leak it." They decided to share the video anonymously. Nkechi contacted a popular NYSC blog that shared stories and updates from core members. By afternoon, the clip, blurred to protect faces, was online, with the caption, "Caught on camera. Ministry security caught stealing core member's phone in Zaria." The reaction was instant. Comments flooded in. Some hailed the anonymous whistleblowers. Others speculated wildly about deeper corruption. But the buzz reached the NYSC office. By evening, Tobi received a call from the zonal inspector herself. "I want you and your friends in my office tomorrow morning. No delay." The next day, Tobi, Osagie, and Nkechi sat in the zonal inspector's office, tense, alert. The inspector, a stern woman with probing eyes, played the video again in silence. She paused it at Lukman's hand in the bag. "Why didn't you report this directly?" she asked. "We were scared," Tobi replied. "He's not just anyone. He was at camp. He works at the ministry." The inspector nodded slowly. "Your fears are valid, but justice has a process." She turned to her assistant. "Bring Lukman in." Minutes later, Lukman stood in front of them, still in uniform, his face pale. He recognized the video immediately. "It's not what it looks like," he stammered. "Then tell us what it is," the inspector said coldly. Lukman shifted. I was asked to take the phone. I thought it was part of a drill." "Who asked you?" Tobi asked sharply. Silence. Who? The inspector repeated. Lookman swallowed hard. Corps member Amira. The room froze. The truth, finally surfacing, had far more layers than anyone imagined.